I don't know, when I'm sick, I just don't drink as much caffeine or coffee. I just want water and all the wine, apparently. Hello, I'm Kristen, also known as Voolenvine, here on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, and pretty much everywhere else on the interwebs. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all the knitting, all the sewing, all the making, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down this week. And yes, it is Thursday. Thursday is podcast day, and I thought I wasn't going to have a lot to share with you because I've only worked on just a couple of projects, but as I started gathering all my show notes together, I realized I've got quite a lot to cover. So gather around, children, grab a bevy of your preference, be it coffee, tea, something spiked, who knows, whatever you fancy. Gather around and let's chat about all the crafting, shall we? So anyway, I hope you all had a great week, and those of you who attended Rhinebeck, I hope you had a blast. I had serious FOMO watching all of the photos coming into my Instagram feed. It looked like you had amazing weather on Saturday. And it just looked like a lot of fun. So again, I hope you all had a wonderful time, whoever went, and a lot of wool followed you home and your hearts are full. And I really wish I could have been there, but you know, it wasn't in the cards this year. But I am so lucky that I got to hang out with some of my favorite nitty peeps, and I'll talk more about that in the blather segment where I chat about life stuff and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to think. A couple of announcements before I get into what I've been making this week. We have our knit-alongs and make-alongs that are happening. Of course, there's the Box o' Socks knit-along, which is our year-long sock knit-along, and then there's Year of the Garment, which is both are year-long knit-alongs, and you can find more about those knit-alongs and make-alongs over in the Voolenvine Ravelry group, where you can partake in all of these make-alongs that I'm mentioning, and join in the chatter surrounding the podcast, ask questions, and all that good stuff. So yeah, there's that. And then we also have the Practical, which is happening, which is a make-along where you make pretty much anything that you are going to want to reach for on a daily basis, stuff that's going to go with a lot of stuff in your wardrobe. Just go to garments that you can wear whenever, with whatever, all the time. I don't know. I'm not explaining it very well, but anyway, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I have a little bit of a cold. Not to throw Dennis under the bus, but he gave me a cold, so I'm kind of fighting that off right now. It's not bad, but you can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a wee bit congested. So yeah, I apologize for my nasally tone this week. And then what else? We also have the Stoker knit along, which is a knit along for my new shawl pattern, Stoker. I'll pop a photo of it in the sidebar so you can see what it looks like in case you want to hop in on that as well. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, so those are our make-alongs and knit-alongs that are happening. And then we have the Voolenvine Yarns 5-year giveaway. Voolenvine Yarns is my hand-dyed yarn company, and I am upon 5 years of being in business, so yay! To celebrate, I am doing a giveaway here on the YouTube channel and over on my Instagram feed. So if you would like to win a skein of my new Voolenvine number 5 colorway, my 5-year anniversary colorway that I came up with, I'll be giving one away on the YouTube channel and the other on my Instagram feed. And in order to win, or enter to win one of these skeins, either leave a question in the comments below, because next week I'm actually going to be doing a Q&A episode answering any questions you might have. Like whenever I hit a milestone, I like to just do like a Ask Me Anything, just to kind of catch you guys up or fill in any questions that you might have. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen next week. So if you do have any questions and would like to enter to win one of these skeins, just leave a question down below, or I am going to post something on my Instagram feed. Keep an eye out for that, but all you'll have to do is comment on that post, and I will, before I record the next episode, I will choose a random winner and let you know that you won a skein of Voolenvine number 5. So Yeah, I hope that made sense. I will put all the details below in the description box just to kind of clarify what my rambling has just can't come out of my mouth. It's still early. It's before 9 o'clock. I have not had a lot of caffeine because I'm sick, and I don't know. When I'm sick, I just don't drink as much caffeine or coffee. I just want water and all the wine, apparently. I'm kidding. Okay, this is not wine. This is, it's in a wine glass. This is water with cranberry juice. Vitamin C, y'all. Yeah, I just didn't do dishes last night, so we're making it work. And a giant wine glass is what I have to work with. So cheers, guys. Happy Thursday. But just in case, I'm going to put all the details down in the description box just to kind of clarify anything if I did not make any sense there. But yeah, yay, giveaway. And I think that is it for announcements. So before I get into what I've been making, just a quick word from my lovely and amazing sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, tech, and more, even sewing and the fiber arts. I love learning new things when it comes to knitting, sewing, photography, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down. And because I know you love learning new things too, I partnered up with Skillshare and they are offering my viewers 2 months free to try their platform. So give Skillshare a go and learn something new. Just click on the link in the description box below, entering the code at checkout, and enjoy! And thanks, Skillshare! And welcome back. Alright, first up we have my Le Pouf cardigan, and I thought that I would at least be on Sleeve Island at this point, but I'm gonna be totally honest. Well, let me talk about the pattern first. Here's where I am on my Le Pouf cardigan. This is a wonderful pattern by Beata Jezek of Hedgehog Fibers, and yeah, I'll pop a photo in the sidebar so you know what it looks like in all its glory. But yeah, here's where I am. I'm still on Body Island, and I will be completely honest. I am not in love with the fade situation happening here. And I'm starting to realize there have been several patterns that I've cast on that require fading, and all of them, most of them, I just don't like. I don't know, like I just fall out of love with knitting them, and either I'm not happy with the fade, I'm not happy with the progression of the fade, or I just can't settle on a specific color combination. I just don't enjoy fading, guys, and sadly, I think I might be scrapping this project. I'm not feeling it. I don't like how there's an abrupt, like it's faded, but it's from far away, it looks too abrupt, the shift between the light and the dark, and I know I'm just not gonna dig wearing it. So I think this is gonna get the frog pond. Which is a shame because well, not a shame, but you know, I panic ordered all that La Bien Aimée and everything, but you know what, it's gonna go, I love the colorway, so it's obviously gonna be repurposed for another project. And so is all the other yarn in this project. But yeah, it's just, I'm not feeling it. And I don't think it needs further explanation other than I'm just not feeling it, and it's okay. I'm gonna rip it out and use the yarn for something else. Yeah, but absolutely nothing wrong with the pattern. It's a free pattern. I highly recommend it. She gives you lots of tips for fading and marling and all that jazz. So definitely, if this is in your wheelhouse, definitely check out the pattern. Again, I think she's actually having a knit along for this, so if you want to hop on over there and check it out, please do. But yeah, I think I will revisit this pattern at some point, but I think I want it in a solid color. Yeah, so maybe I will rip it out and do use the La Bien Aimée, because I have 3 skeins of it now. 3 skeins that I can just marl together with another yarn and knit another Le Pouf. Yeah, although I think I will be taking a break from the pattern itself just to kind of cleanse the palette. So, slight tale of woe, but you know, if you've been following the podcast and following my fading journey, if you want to call it that, fades generally never work out for me. The only fade I will say that did work out for me is what is that? The Stoker Shawl by Stephen West. I love that pattern so much. It only had 3 colorways that you had to fade, so I think that broke it down a lot better for me. Or I don't know, like I enjoyed that so much more than fading like more than 3. I think fading more than 3 colorways is just a little much for me. I don't know. That's how I roll, and it doesn't need further explaining. So that is the fate of my Le Pouf cardigan. A wonderful pattern by Beata Jezek. And again, we'll be revisiting at some point, but not in the near future. But I do have some good news to report on my Nightingale Pullover, a pattern by Norah Gaughn that was featured in Pom Pom magazine last year. And here's where I am on that. Making lots of progress on, this is the back panel of the sweater. And again, it's slow going, but I am thoroughly enjoying the process of knitting this. So yeah, I'm gonna have to redo this all again for the front portion of the sweater, and then seam it all. It's all knit in pieces, and then you seam everything together. So yeah, very traditional sweater construction, if you want to call it that. But if you want an idea of how it's gonna look, so this is gonna come over here. So it's kind of like a shield, as Andrea from the Fruity Knitting podcast describes it. So, you know, when she wears hers, she's like, I feel like I'm wearing a shield on my chest. So I can totally see that. And I just love how fluid and very Art Nouveau, and yeah, I love everything about this sweater, and it's going to get so much wear. The yarn is Quince & Co. Lark, the yarn that the sample from Pom Pom magazine actually used to knit it. Did that make any sense? Oh, NyQuil, I hate you. So, yeah, so Lark yarn is the yarn that Norah Gaughn used to knit the sample in the Pom Pom magazine, and I'm using their Damson colorway, which is this glorious grayish mauvey purple that I absolutely love. And I had a size down in needle size, so the pattern suggests US size 7. I swatched, and my swatch was way too big, so I went down to a size 6 for 0.0 millimeter needle, and I'm using my Haya sharps, which I absolutely love, and I think are essential, me personally, for cabling without a cable needle, because it has this awesome sharp tip, and it's not very stabby at all. Hayas are by far my favorite go-to knitting needle for everything. Yeah, so that is my Nightingale pullover, and I have to say that is it for the knitting content this week. I've been pretty monogamous. Yeah, after slowing down on the Pouf cardigan, I just was kind of in a knitting rut. There are some other patterns that I really want to cast on that I'm contemplating, namely Ellie, Skein Deer Knits, just came out with this beautiful cardigan, her housed cardigan, and it's absolutely stunning, and I really want to cast that on. The only yarn from my stash that I can see knitting it out of right now is this Rauma Phenol Garn that she says I can totally get away with knitting it with this. But I had purchased a sweater quantities worth to knit her other sweater pattern. It's a colorwork pullover, the Winterfjell. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize if I just butchered that. But I have yarn. I bought this yarn specifically to knit that pattern with a bunch of other colorways, contrasting colorways. So I'm kind of on the fence. I feel like I would get more wear out of the cardigan, because I know I just knit a black cardigan, but I mean, this one's different. It would be a different, more kind of lacy button-down cardigan. I don't know, but I think I might dip into this. But I also do want the Winterfjell. Decisions. I am going to New England Fiber Fest. I forgot to mention at the top of the episode. So maybe I will do some shopping for that cardigan there. I don't know, but I'm itching to cast on a new cardigan. I might just... Again, thinking out loud, I might just have to do it. But all that to say that I do have a couple of patterns knocking around in my brain that I am contemplating casting on. We shall see what happens this weekend. I do have a little more of a yarn haul to share with you that kind of overlapped from last week. As I mentioned, I did have to panic order more Lobby Anime from this yarn shop down here from Finland, and to make shipping worth my while, I ordered a sweater quantities worth of Gilliatt Yarn, and Caroline, who is Dunder Knit, will appreciate this because I saw this on her podcast, because she has a sweater quantities worth of Gilliatt in the caramel colorway, and I saw it and I was like, oh, that is so pretty. So they only had one skein left, and I ate it up. I added it to my cart, and then I bought one skein of this, which is their gray. It's like a light heather gray, and then the rest I bought, I think, like 5 or 6 skeins of this charcoal blackish gray colorway, and this is going to be a Winter Sole by Jennifer Steingass, a pattern that I've been really itching to cast on, pun totally intended. So yeah, that is, I think this might have to be all right, this makes sense now. Cast on Ellie's cardigan, the house cardigan, and also cast on a Winter Sole by Jennifer Steingass. All right, mischief managed. All my sweater knitting is sorted. Got it. All right, so this is what's gonna happen next, I think. And the cardigan. Oh my gosh, what do I cast on next? What do I cast on next? I think this is the night quill talking. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, this is what I got from this and the, oh goodness, the La Bien-Aimée was the other skein that I got from that yarn shop, Tiki, I can never pronounce it, TITIYY.FI, I believe it's called. Anyway, these are my new yarn babies. They are currently living in my stash. I love them and cannot wait to work with them. But yeah, Gilliatt, I don't know if I showed you the label. Yeah, I've heard lots of great things about Gilliatt, and it is worsted weight yarn. But yeah, it's 100% pure wool. So, and it's squidgy and squishy, and yeah, it's so nice. So nice. Cannot wait to work with this. So I'm trying to think what else I want to chat about before I move on to sewing. What I'm wearing, actually, because I don't have any finished sewn garments to share with you this week. The horror, shocking surprise, who am I? But I am wearing a hand knit cardigan, which I'm kind of regretting putting on because it is getting a little toasty in here. But, you know, the things we do for podcasts, right? Yeah, I'm wearing my Nightingale Pullover by Caitlin Hunter, and I want to say this was my EYF cardigan. This was my EYF sweater, the sweater that I wore the most when I went to EYF. This is knit out of Viola Yarns in her dark earth colorway. I never remember the colorway name, but I purchased this at Rhinebeck last year, Indian Tangled I should say, but here's what the bottom looks like, and it goes with so much, this colorway and the shaping of the sweater. Right now I'm wearing it over just a simple black dress that goes with everything in my wardrobe. Yeah, quarter length sleeves and all that good stuff. So love this sweater, highly recommend it. Yeah, and it's just been getting lots of wear. Cannot wait to wear it to the heck out of it this year. The weather's finally cooling down, so I get to enjoy it all over again. Yeah, so, okay, sewing. As you can see in the back, if you follow me on Instagram, my stories, I do post a lot more on Instagram stories than I do actually posting stuff on my Insta feeds. So if you want to follow, you know, what I'm working on or just random life stuff, you know, just follow me on Instagram stories. I do post a lot on there. But here in the back is a pattern that I'm currently working my way through. And that is Very Easy Vogue V9265. So here's what it looks like. And I made a muslin, and so far so good. It fits me really well, and the thing that I like about this pattern is that they provide different cup sizes, so I did not need to do a small bust adjustment on this. No adjustments at all other than truing up the my bust size and my waist size. So thankfully the finished garment measurements for the bust is a 32. And they had a waist size finished measurement of 26. So all I had to do was connect those lines. So, you know, they evenly met up with each other, and cut out my pattern pieces and just stitch it all together. And I want to say it's the thing that's making this a little more complicated is because I am underlining the fabric that I'm using here, which I guess I will take it off. So here I'll show you. So yeah, the thing that made this the most challenging was the fact that I underlined the main fabric, which is a sheer chiffon. So you can see that I underlined it with just basic cotton lawn, but the fabric itself is very see-through, so you can see me through it. So again, you know, what's making this a little bit more tricky and slow going is that I'm working with slippery sheer fabric. It is, as you saw on the pattern envelope itself, it does have puffed sleeves, so it definitely has a very like princessy kind of, again, the puffed sleeves. I am obsessed with them. I love them. And the scoop neck and everything, it's just totally up my alley. But I'm going to leave the sleeves sheer. So, you know, that I will underline the bodice piece and the skirt, but the sleeves I am going to leave a little sheer. I'm not too stoked about the elastic in the armbands because they do instruct you to put elastic. I'm thinking about doing just, you know, making little ties to kind of like give it a little personality and just have like some, you know, ties to tie at the armband. But I don't know, that might be a little tricky because tying those myself, I might need Dennis to help me tie some bow ties, and anyway, it might just be easier to do the elastic. I'm thinking out loud again. But I am making version A. I feel like I would just be swimming in chiffon if I were to make the floor length version. Plus, I'm only 5. I think I'm between 5'4" and 5'5", 5 feet tall and 5 inches. So I fall on the average height spectrum. I'm of average height, but just I feel like whenever I wear maxi dresses, I just feel incredibly short and swimmy in them. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I find that skirts like right above my knee or right below my knee are just spot on when it comes to length. So yeah, I will be making version A. And yeah, hemming this thing, I'm not looking forward to it because it's a full circle skirt and it's gonna take me quite some time. So, you know, that'll be my project. This will be my project for the weekend. And I also do want to get a head start on my Rumana jacket. I purchased fabric to make a new coat, which is a full-length coat out of black merino cashmere wool, which is absolutely yummy. I'm looking at it in my stash, and lined with Liberty silk fabric. So that is also right up there on my list of things that I want to make this weekend. But before I started working on that, I had started sewing a top by Republique du Chiffon, and that was a sad tale of woe because generally, if you're new to sewing, generally when you cut out your pattern pieces, the seam allowances are already baked into the pattern piece. However, there are some pattern companies that don't include them and you have to add them in yourself. Like Beata patterns, those patterns do not include seam allowances, and they let you know right up front. And somehow I completely slipped my mind that Republique du Chiffon does not include seam allowances in their patterns, and this completely baffles me. But anyway, long story short, which is my new favorite phrase to use apparently, I cut out all my pattern pieces to sew a top by Republique du Chiffon. I'll pop it in the sidebar in case you're curious. I'm blanking on what it was actually called. And I still want to make it, but I just needed to take a time out from it. And I cut out all my pattern pieces only to realize that I was supposed to add in the seam allowances before I did that. So that was my morning. I'm not gonna lie, I was furious. I was just so frustrated because, yeah, cutting out fabric, printing out a pattern, printing out a full pattern, putting it all together, taping it all together, cutting it out, then cutting out the fabric is a lot of work and stressful on my back. And after, I want to say, 2 hours of all that, only to realize that what I had cut out, I wasted fabric, and yeah, it was not good. I was not happy. I was not a happy camper. But anyway, gave it a time out, had some lunch, and decided to pick up something easy, simple, and mindless, something that I started a while back. This is just going to be one of those projects that I reach for when I don't know what to sew, or I'm in a sewing schlump, or what have you. But I started quilting again, you guys. So I have one square put together. This is the Starburst quilt pattern. It's a free pattern. And I found a free tutorial from, if you're into quilting or sewing, you've probably heard of them, the Missouri Star Quilt Company. She has a really awesome YouTube channel where she shows you and teaches you how to quilt. And this is a free pattern and tutorial that she put out there. I'm blanking on her name, that's why I'm calling her she. But yeah, I've just been following along with this, and yeah, it's been so fun to just kind of check out and sew some straight lines. And let me tell you guys, this is so simple to put together. So really it only takes 16 10-inch squares of solid fabric and 16 10-inch squares of patterned fabric. And I don't know, something about this color combination, it's a little out of my comfort zone, but I feel like the black kind of adds a little gothic aspect element to something that's very chintzy and shabby chic. So really all you're doing is you're putting your right sides together, matching up all your edges, sewing a 1/4 inch all around the edges, and then taking it to your cutting board and then cutting it from angle to angle, creating, you know, an X, and then you're left with 4 squares that you iron out, and you get these cool little, you know, black and white squares, if that makes any sense. And then the way that you arrange these on, you know, on the floor or wherever your table or whatever, it creates, you know, you can match up all the edges so they create kind of like these rhombuses, rhombi, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it's just been a lot of fun, and I just have 3 more of these to sew together. Quadrants, she calls them, and then once you have all your 4 quadrants, you sew all those quadrants together, and Bob's your uncle. You have a 52 by 52 inch quilt. So, you know, it's not a giant quilt, it's more of like a lap quilt or a wall hanging, what have you. So yeah, I'm just doing this for fun. And here's the back side in case you're curious to see what that looks like. So yeah, very neat, and you know, and yeah, again, I got the charm pack from fabric.com, obviously, and I'm blanking on what it's actually called. A 10-inch charm pack by Riley Blake Designs in her Bliss. Let me see. Yeah, it's by Riley Blake Designs. And it's her Bliss colorway, if that's what you can call it, by Mind's Eye. So it comes, so each charm pack comes with, obviously 42 pieces, 10-inch squares, and yeah, so I got one of these and then one in black. So you definitely get more than you really need to make one quilt, but you know, you have enough left over to make another one, or, you know, make a larger quilt, what have you. Yeah, so, you know, have fun with that. Yeah, of course, I will put all the links down below where you can get one in case you want to make one yourself. But I love, this fabric is just so fun. It's actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like, has this rose gold metallic to it. And yeah, it just makes me so happy. So, you know, hey, I don't know what's going to become of it. It might just be a lap quilt that I keep in the car when we go on, you know, drives in the winter, because I get cold in cars. So that might be the destiny of this, or, you know, just a wall hanging. Who knows? Who knows? But so that's my quilting project. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I think that is it for sewing. Oh, I do have a pattern haul that I got from McCall's, because if you're not familiar with McCall Pattern Company or Butterick, they usually have sales on their patterns for like $3.99. So I stumbled on their website and they were having a $3.99 pattern sale, and I could not resist. So I think I will share with you what I got from there. First up, I got a cardigan, which is kind of cool because I think I fell in love with the color, but I also love those shawl collars. I think they're just so versatile, and I do have some jersey fabric in my stash. It kind of reminds me of the Blackwood cardigan by Helen's Closet, but I don't know, I kind of like the tie in the front and the shawl collar happening in there, so that's one. This other one, I really like the look of View B. So it has like a button down, kind of like dolman sleeves, or grown on sleeves, I want to say. I don't think these are grown on, but I just like the shape of that. And then, yeah, I think I'm going to be making this version, but yeah, I got this one. And then this one is a little out of my comfort zone, but for some reason, I don't know, it hopped in my cart. I feel I can play around with the look of this, but you know, it spoke to me, so it came home to me. But yeah, there's that one. This one, I think I'm gonna make this one this weekend as well, or try to make this one. So I love knot details in clothing. I don't know why, I'm just drawn to them. I like they just add like some interest to an otherwise plain garment, but I think I'm gonna be making View A. And I was actually watching, Brittany Jones, if you're not familiar, she has a sewing channel on YouTube, and the Love to Sew podcast interviewed her at one point, so that's how I discovered her channel. She's actually hosting a sew along for this pattern, I think, over the weekend. So I I have never, believe it or not, sewn a pattern with a knot involved. So I think I'm going to be sewing along with her just, you know, to make sure that I don't mess up. But yeah, anyway, looking forward to making this pattern this weekend if I have time. Yeah, so that was, you know, and wardrobe essential. You cannot go wrong with this. So yeah, that came home to me. This one, no surprise, puff sleeves. Puff sleeves. And it dawned on me that I am totally turning into my mother, because when I was younger, growing up, my mom was like obsessed with like Victoriana, and she decorated my room with all Laura Ashley stuff, and it was like, to me at that point in my life, it was, I wanted to upchuck. I hated it. But yeah, here I am today, loving all things Victoriana, obsessing over puff sleeves, and purchasing some Laura Ashley patterns. I had no idea she designed patterns for McCall's. Yeah, my mom loved getting Laura Ashley dresses for me when I was little. It was horrible. Anyway, I think they say you really do turn into your parents when you grow up. I don't know. But hey, here we are. So yeah, I bought this one. Obviously this looks a little frumpy on the model. I'm going to have to tweak it in some way. Obviously making it shorter, and maybe making a size smaller than the model is actually wearing, because I do like my outfits to be somewhat fitted at the top. So there's that. This one, I don't know, like, okay, I did buy a couple of patterns to swan around in if I ever make them. But this one I've been wanting to buy for a while, because if you've ever seen the movie Atonement, Keira Knightley, she wears this beautiful, beautiful satin green gown, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. And this pattern completely reminds me of that dress. So I don't know, you know, for my birthday, maybe one day. Obviously, I would probably make it shorter, but I really, really love the details of the top. It has like these cut out peekaboo keyhole details. I think I have to make a replica of the green dress. It's so like 1940s. I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, you can, I still have more. I still have more, guys. This one too, in case I have to make an emergency Under the Mountain Feyre costume. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just really liked it. I feel like I could tweak it to make it more wearable for, you know, like raise the V a little bit, because I do love that I have kind of like broad square shoulders. So I do appreciate like those wide shoulder straps. So I feel like if I were to alter this or modify it a little bit so the V isn't so plunging, yeah, and make it shorter, obviously, I could make it kind of like a pinafore. We'll see. We'll see. I bought it. It was $3.99. So we'll see what happens with that. And this one's really cute too. I don't know, another Laura Ashley, believe it or not. So really sweet dress that I could probably make out of challis or chiffon if this one that I'm currently working on doesn't kill me first. So yeah, there's that one. And then this one, I don't know, like I have these like delusions of grandeur where I get these patterns that are like ball gowns, prom dresses, formal wear, and I have the idea that I can kind of make them more casual. I don't know. But I feel like this one I could totally play around with and make a very casual version, because I love the crop. I love the separates. I love the crop top, and I love the gathered skirt. You could do a lot with this, I feel like. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a formal dress. I could just shorten the skirt, wear it with leggings, and then pick a casual like jersey or pant, something with a little bit more structure for the crop top. Yeah, I think it could be really, really cute, especially since crop tops are in style. So yeah, that is my pattern haul that I got from McCall. So I went just a smidge crazy. But yeah, I have a lot of fun things to work with now, and I'm excited to dip into them. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think that is it for the episode, guys. I am gonna move along to the Blather segment where I chat about life stuff, but I am having a shop update this week over at VoolenvineYarns.com. It's gonna be on Saturday, October 20, in the down bar. Date will be in the down bar, and you can, as always, you can sign up for my newsletter where you get all the details about yarn bases, kits, colorways, you name it, everything is in there. Even heads up about shop news about new bases. Speaking of new bases, I'm going to have a new base in the shop. Because the weather is getting cooler, I decided it was time to introduce a worsted weight into my repertoire. I'm still working on a name for it, but it is 100% superwash merino. And yeah, it's just so squishy and squidgy, and I'm in love. I'm in love, and so glad that I finally brought worsted weight into my shop. It's something that I've been wanting to do, you know, and I was thinking about it for a while, but now that the weather's getting cooler, it makes perfect sense. So yeah, be on the lookout for that in the shop this Saturday, and the like. So, and I know I've been getting a lot of questions about more pre-orders for my Stoker kits. I'm still working my way through the pre-orders from the last round of Stoker kits pre-orders. So if you did purchase one, thank you for your patience. I'm still working on dyeing them. They should be going out next week or the week after. Yeah, I just still have a lot of pre-orders to dye, which is why I don't like doing pre-orders. I don't know about you, but me personally, as a business owner and yarn dyer, I don't like offering things that aren't yet already dyed and ready to sell. I don't like having that over my head. So while I do like trying new things, you know, to see how they work out, I just don't like that looming, I have to do this, or, you know, whatever. It's just my personal brand of crazy. So I don't think I will be doing any more pre-orders, but I will be offering more Stoker kits in the shop, not this weekend, but the following week, I believe. So yeah, again, sign up for the newsletter. All the details are always in there, so you can be informed, be the first to be informed about all that good stuff. So yeah, all right. So that is shop news. I'm gonna move along to blather, and let me see. So Rhinebeck didn't happen for me this year, although I really did have so much fun catching up with all of your photos that you were posting on Instagram. Yeah, it definitely looked like a fun time, and so bummed I couldn't make it this year. But you know, hey, I just wasn't in the cards. I will be going next year for sure. So, you know, I have that to look forward to. And the best part was I got to, even though I didn't get to go to Rhinebeck this year, I still got to hang out with some of my favorite nitty peeps. As I mentioned last week, I got to hang out with Mina and Amelia. And I actually got to meet up with Amelia again on our way to the airport. There's a train that goes through Bushwick that takes you right to JFK Airport. So it was on the way for her, so it worked out perfectly. We met up for coffee, and it was just so lovely to catch up with her. Amelia, if you're watching, I hope you had a safe journey back. And Caroline, who I got to have lunch with yesterday, she came into Bushwick on our way back to the airport, and we had the weather was beautiful. We actually met up at this restaurant in Bushwick. And Caroline had her very first lobster roll experience, so I hope you enjoyed your very first lobster roll. It did look delicious. Yeah, so we had lunch at this one place, and the weather was so beautiful that we just ate al fresco. It was great. The wind was crazy, our hair was blowing everywhere, but we had all the knitting and fun to talk about, so it was wonderful. And then I got to show her some of the murals, because if you've never been to Bushwick before, there is I think it's called the Bushwick Collective, but they commission graffiti artists to paint all these murals on warehouse walls, because there are a lot of old warehouses out here with like brick walls and everything, so they're basically blank canvases. And you know, these are old warehouses that have been, you know, either, you know, bought up and repurposed for restaurants, art spaces, and just retail spaces and the like. So it's really cool getting to see all these different, you know, art murals and everything that are just, you know, all around the neighborhood. But anyway, yeah, it was really great to catch up with her. And yeah, hopefully, I'm definitely going to take a trip to London at some point. It's been way too long since I've been, and London is easily like one of my favorite places in the whole wide world. So I'm definitely planning a trip there at some point. And then Selma of the Little Big Knits podcast twisted my arm. She's trying to convince me to come out to Knit City in Montreal in March. So I think that might have to happen. No promises, but it is looking good that I will be able to make it. So, you know, there you have it. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, this weekend, obviously sewing. The following weekend, I'm going to be heading up to the New England Fiber Festival with my friend Tanya. So if you see me on Saturday, please do say hello. It'd be lovely to meet you. So there's that, and I've never been to the New England Fiber Festival, so I'm very, very excited. You know, and I know it's smaller than Rhinebeck, it's not as big as Rhinebeck, but I'm cool with that. I have never been to another East Coast Fiber Festival, believe it or not. So yeah, no. All right, so I am going to end things here. As always, thank you so very much for hanging out with me this week. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like and subscribe below. I put out an episode for your viewing pleasure every Friday, or I do try to post one every Friday, depending on my schedule, how I'm feeling. Sometimes it's a miss, but you know, for the most part, it's pretty on point. I'm pretty consistent when it comes to putting out episodes on Fridays. So anyway, that said, happy knitting, happy making, and I'll see you next time. Bye!